Waikiki is a place all jet setters need to go. Nightlife, great food, and a vibe you need to enjoy at least once in your life.
And if you're in Vegas, get off the strip for this culinary delight.
We have another great chardonnay. It may be silver, but no silver medal.
And cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
We are in Waikiki Beach in Honolulu, and the vibe here is absolutely fantastic. There is fun, food, and nightlife.
It's fabulous. It really is. And we took you on a tour of all the places you need to go. Waikiki is a bucket list destination, especially if you've never been here. And this is a great hangout place for the locals, too. Everywhere you go, people will treat you like family. It's called Ohana.
And it also has a feel of Miami and Vegas mixed with Polynesia. There's high-end shopping and restaurants here too.
That's right. And Waikiki has a hip, cool vibe while also being relaxed and laid back. We were here a lot when I lived here for dining, shopping, dancing, and nightclubs. And this is where all of our proms were held too. For visitors, Waikiki Beach is a great place to take a surfing lesson because the waves are gentle, not anything like the ones on the North Shore. So you can do stand-up paddleboarding and outrigger canoes as well.
Well, and speaking of waves, you have to visit Duke. Duke was a native Hawaiian, an Olympic medalist in swimming, and the man who made the ancient sport of surfing what it is today. He died in 1968, but he still looms large here. People love taking photos with him.
Yes, they do. And Duke's Restaurant, which is an institution, is right down the street on the beach in Waikiki. It's a fun and fabulous oceanfront place with great tiki drinks and sports bar food. You really come here for the ambiance and to sink your toes into the sand while sipping on cocktails.
Now, Duke's is in the Outrigger Hotel, as is the Hula Grill.
We went here with a big group and tasted a number of great dishes. This is a place worth eating at for the food and the sunsets. And the Outrigger is a Hawaiian classic. There are lots of proms held in these ballrooms too.
Now, when I go to Hawaii, I always get seafood.
Well, Hawaii is actually where I discovered my never-ending love of sushi. The restaurants here boast some of the freshest and most unique catches you'll ever find. I know you indulged in quite a few, and here are some of the appetizers with local fish and yummy shrimp that we had. We also had crab and macadamia nut wontons. My love of dumplings and noodles also comes from living here because there's a big Asian influence and the ramen houses are truly authentic.
The Hula Cafe, it had a nice wine list. So now, sometimes in the tropics, you and I know this, you find the wine scarce, but not here.
And Hawaii has plenty of amazing beef, too. All the restaurants support the local farmers. In fact, for the past 2 decades, Hawaii has emerged as a culinary powerhouse, and this is thanks to the diverse ethnic influences, the talented chefs, and their dedication to showcasing the fresh ingredients of the island. Hawaii regional cuisine started in the early 1990s, and it draws on all the local resources like beef raised in pastures, fresh seafood, and the local produce. It also revolves around the love and respect of the land, which is called aina.
And the local saying is eat local. And for me, like I said before, it is definitely the fish. I got a medley here of 3 different catches of the day. All were superb.
Now, you'll want to stay at the Outrigger, too. It's a 4-star place to stay. You'll stay here for the Hawaiian culture and decor, which is throughout the property, plus amenities like an in-room jacuzzi and superb views of the ocean.
Now, the Outrigger is just one of 3 hotels we recommend on Waikiki. And Jetsetter Deals can book them for you and get you some nice extras and upgrades just because you watch the show. Now, we spent time in each of them.
Not too far from the Outrigger is the Moana Surfrider Hotel. It's a Westin resort, and it's one of the 3 oldest hotels in Waikiki.
And it has the old world charm of Hawaii. It's one of the most historic resorts, and it was built back in 1901.
The main attraction is the banyan tree. These roots go back centuries, and the tree grows new trunks that sprout out and back into the ground. There you can sit where Robert Louis Stevenson sat and wrote several poems.
It is charming and romantic, but it also has the modern-day amenities that jet setters want, like the oceanfront spa in Waikiki. The Moana also has an exclusive beach area and great rooms with stunning views of the beach and nearby Diamond Head. Question for you, Susan. Are there any other banyan trees in Waikiki?
Oh, sure. There is a huge one in the International Marketplace, also in Waikiki. That is another institution, and we always took visitors here to spend time as well. It just went through a complete renovation. It's now got 75 retailers and restaurants, all high-end, but they kept the banyan tree, which is over a century old. And that's a wonderful thing because the locals would have been up in arms against them if they didn't keep it. So now they have built around the famous banyan tree.
Wow, fabulous. Now, the Hyatt in Waikiki is also one of our favorites. It has been recently renovated to a more modern feel. I kind of liken it to the Palms in Las Vegas.
Oh, and the rooms are fabulous, also with great views. And they offer individual Wi-Fi and an app to stream all of your digital products in one place. Plus, they indulge you in beach chairs right on Waikiki Beach where you can order food and drinks.
Now, the restaurants, like all of Hawaii's top eateries, as you mentioned before, support local farmers and are farm-to-table fresh. The Hyatt, they take it a step further by growing a lot of organic food right here on property. And no, they don't serve the koi.
Of course not. They're too pretty. The Hyatt is also attached to a great mall for shopping and just walking around. You have to hit one of the local favorites, Kai Coffee. We did. It boasts locally grown coffee beans, which are superb. If you like coffee, this is a must.
Now, you may not want to spend a full week on Waikiki, but you owe it to yourself to at least take in a few nights before you explore the rest of Oahu and the other islands, which we will have for you here on Undercover Jetsetter in future shows.
If you go to Oahu in September, you can catch the Aloha Festival, which features music, dance parades, and other events. I was actually a dancer in one of the Aloha Festival parades when I was in high school.
And it's kind of like homecoming for most colleges and high schools during football season, right?
Sure. Well, I was a dancer in the homecoming too, but that was at Aloha Stadium. And the Aloha Festival takes place in Waikiki and includes lots more fun stuff like food and music.
And there is just so much to do in Waikiki alone, and the people here, well, you've told me many times, and I agree with you every time I go there, the people there are absolutely lovely.
Yes, you're so right, and that's called the Aloha spirit. You'll find it throughout all of Hawaii. It's something very special and unique that you really can't find anywhere else.
And you told me aloha doesn't just mean welcome.
That's right. It also means I love you and farewell. You can also say ahui ho, which means see you later, because there's no goodbyes in Hawaii. And because you are part of our ohana at Undercover Jetsetter, when you book any of these hotels through Jetsetter deals, remember you'll get additional luxuries and upgrades just for being a viewer of our show.
So there you have it. You need to get started on checking off that bucket list and get ready to welcome the Aloha spirit into your next vacation experience. Now, this isn't for everybody. If you want a quiet vacation, this is not it on Waikiki. Now, you were a resident here. Did you guys come down to Waikiki a lot to party?
Well, to be honest, it's funny because I lived here during my teenage years, so I lived on the east side in Kailua, and we would mostly come into Waikiki for special events, to go out to eat dinner. If it was a special occasion, prom, all of that kind of stuff is all in Waikiki. Everybody has their proms there. And then we also would come in, because when I lived here, the drinking age was 18, so we would come here and we would go to nightclubs and we'd go dancing and really partying as a teenager. That's kind of what you did. All that stuff is in Waikiki.
And I guess locals do it now, too.
Oh, yeah. I think it's this exact same thing. Yeah, because it wasn't too long ago that I lived here.
So if you're looking for a Hawaii vacation, whether you want it to be hot nightlife or just a secluded, great golf getaway, we've got the place for you to go. Jetsetterdeals.com. All you got to do is check them out. They have them from soup to nuts as far as going to Hawaii.
Yes, and that is our gift to you as a viewer of a show, Jetsetter Deals. And coming up next, we take you off the beaten path to a restaurant in Las Vegas.
And welcome back. Cheers, everybody. We are in Waikiki Beach. Waikiki has a little bit of a Vegas vibe going on here.
It does.
And even when you're in Vegas, though, sometimes you need to get away from that vibe and get off the strip.
And that's also because there are amazing celebrity chefs off the strip as well. And we found one in Henderson for you. We're going to take you right now there. Todd's Unique is most definitely distinctive, and it's also charming.
Chef Todd is certainly a chef who knows his way around the kitchen, effortlessly combining seafood, Asian fusion, and a steakhouse all in one place.
And that place is Henderson, a neighborhood off the Strip in Las Vegas.
You'll want to start with one of the fabulous cocktails. We had 3.
The 4350 combines Deep Eddy ruby red grapefruit vodka, Pomplano Pellegrino soda with a grapefruit garnish. It's refreshing and unexpected pops of tang and sweet. A great palate opener.
Next, the watermelon martini with house-infused watermelon vodka, watermelon liqueur, and sour. A burst of sweet watermelon against the citrus pop of sour. Delicious.
And we had to try one more, the Gin Blossom. Hendrick's Gin, Saint Germain, Domaine de Canton, sour and lime. It's sophisticated with alluring flavors of juniper, floral, and ginger.
Well, we started our food journey with the goat cheese wontons, crispy and bursting with fresh flavors. Silkiness from the goat cheese blended with cream cheese and fresh herbs, including black cardamom from India.
The bottom of the plate has an artful raspberry basil sauce. This was a rush of flavors in your mouth. It's a must-have when you go here.
Chef Todd has had these on the menu since the opening of the restaurant.
Next, we dived into some seared sea scallops with mushroom mashed potatoes and pistachio brown butter.
Buttery and delicious, perfectly cooked. The earthiness layered underneath them gave way to nutty complementary flavors. Another mark of a masterful Chef Todd in the kitchen.
They have an excellent wine list, including an extensive array of half bottles, so you can try a few different varietals that way. We paired both of these dishes with Todd's hand-selected Chardonnay, which went really well with both.
Now we have to warn you, you'll be dreaming about these braised ribs for many days after. They melt in your mouth with the most dense and delicious flavors simmered throughout. They are what we like to call magical.
It takes 3 days to make them. First, they are braised and then put into the oven with their other ingredients for 7 hours. And then, yes, put into the oven again for another 6 hours. The final seasoning and more reduction takes place before it reaches you on the plate.
And as Chef Todd likes to say, no knife needed. They served up with jalapeno mashed potatoes and a rich caramelized onion sauce that makes a superb complement.
Again, very unique and distinctly Todd. The sweetness of the onions alongside the creamy mashed potatoes with just a hint of heat were great company for the rich, meaty broth and short ribs.
We paired this delightful dish with the steel Pinot Noir from Carneros, a great recommendation by our charming and knowledgeable waiter.
If you're a foodie, you've got to get to Todd's Unique on Sunset Road in Henderson.
It is well worth the ride from the Strip. You can take Lyft or Uber so you can enjoy the great wines and cocktails. Booking a table is highly recommended. That was great food. And you know, this is not unusual in Las Vegas because there's so many superstar chefs that come there and they either want to leave the Strip and go out to the suburbs, or they create these other young chefs that are like their prodigies, so they go out to the suburbs, and it's a great environment.
Absolutely, yeah, and Todd's Unique was great. Another great reason to live in Vegas. And when we come back, we'll give you another great reason to drink a Mer Soleil Chardonnay. Now, we drink a lot of Mai Tais here, but we still love a great Chardonnay no matter where we are.
And we've got another one for you, and it is a Mer Soleil, but it is not the Mer Soleil Chardonnay you're thinking of. Cheers, the Mer Soleil Silver, and this is this is another interesting story. Neither of us can remember when we started drinking this, but we kind of figured out it was right around the same time, and it might have been right when it came out. And a lot of it has to do with this being a Mer Soleil Silver but we love the regular Mer Soleil, which is probably, if not our favorite Chardonnay, certainly one or two.
Top
up
two,
there, yeah.
top two, because we can't decide.
and I think we just wanted to try it, and I was a little bit reluctant because I just don't like unoaked. I was so surprised, and again, I might put this in my top 10.
Yeah, no, I think so too. I mean, it's so funny because we both love Mer Soleil, and so we both concurrently, kind of at the same time, saw this individually and got it and just said the silver is amazing and it's unoaked, and I was the same as you. I was like, oh, do I want to get it? Is it going to be living up to everything I want? And it certainly does. And the beauty of it is, you know, they grow this in Santa Lucia, along where they grow the other regular Mer Soleil Chardonnay grapes, and the grapes grown there are just so phenomenal. It's so good for Chardonnay grapes. I mean, it just is amazing. And the grapes grown there, I think, not having the oak in this one, and I wouldn't normally say this if it was any other winemaker or any other region, the grapes grown here and then not having the oak really have this pure, clean expression of the Chardonnay grape. It's so beautiful. I mean, it really, you get the Chardonnay grape full on what it is, full expression.
But there's some nuance there. I wouldn't say complication, but I would say nuance.
Oh, absolutely.
Within the grape, so that you're getting something on the back taste as well as the front taste as well, which to me, you know, as long as it's interesting, I'm there. I don't have to have the big oak and the big butter.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, there's other wines that we're going to be reviewing for you that have a Chardonnay base, but they're also blended. This is a beautiful, just a beautiful wine because it's got layers. Speaking of that whole region, the Santa Lucia region in Monterey where they grow this, Charlie Wagner, who's the winemaker for this wine, he specifically says what he loves about it is it really creates a sense of place because it's the Chardonnay grape grown in that region. This is the flavor you get from that full expression of beauty and love for what it is.
And it also shows the great winemaker. I mean, the fact that he's taking these grapes, he makes a Mer Soleil regular and he makes a Mer Soleil Silver, and they're both brilliant. And they're from the same region, sometimes the same grapes. And that's what makes it even more fascinating. And for me, I think this is the only unoaked Chardonnay that I will drink on its own. You know,
yeah,
if you put a Pouilly Fusé in front of me, I'm going to have it with chicken. I'm just not going to drink it alone. You got to give me something else. And maybe I'm just a typical snob of an American. I have to have the California Chardonnay that's big and oaky, and I have to have that. I have to chew on it. I don't know if that's it, but this I can sit in. As you say, we don't have cheese or crackers here with us, and this is delightful. And the color of it.
Oh, yeah.
The color of it's just absolutely
gorgeous.
beautiful, and the bottle is so much fun. And the bottle is kind of, and a lot of the stuff that I had read about it was kind of reminiscent of going back to Roman times when they made the wine in cement casks. And this is just, it's a beautiful tribute to it. A couple of things
really
kind of go a tad bit awry with it. The first is that, and you've experienced, because you were going to carry it.
Yeah, well,
time.
I once carried it on a plane in my checked baggage, which you, by the way, able to fully do that. It's not a problem. You can carry 1 or 2 bottles as long as you're not over the 50-pound limit. Then you'll have to pay extra.
But you might be with this.
But this is like 2 bottles of wine in one because the ceramic was so heavy. But now they've changed that. They've made it lighter and they've changed the top.
And one of the reasons they changed it up, they were having a lot of problems with the corks. And you and I actually had a problem with the cork.
Yeah.
With one of their corks like that. And they took it back, whoever it was that where we bought it from. But they have the screw top. And we talked about this with the Ferrari Carano because they do it. And it's still the great wine. And the great thing is if you don't finish it, who doesn't finish 1 bottle of Mer Soleil Silver? You can screw the top back on and have it for later. But
oh, absolutely. And I was going to say, it's got like a little effervescence in it almost. Yeah. I mean, when we were pouring it, you notice the bubbles, and it's not a bubbly wine by any means, but at the same time, it's got, when you first pour it, a little bit of bubbles, and then as you're drinking it, it's got a little ting at the end, a little tingly thing of effervescence on your tongue. And so, like you said, you don't need to have it with food. Sipping wine, summer day, winter by the fire, any of those, it makes a great wine for all occasions. And you know, it's kind of the mid-range. It's a price point right around $20. Bottle goes a long way for two people. It's kind of never-ending. That's the other thing we used to say about the ceramic, is because you don't see how much is left in it, you're pouring it and then you're pouring some more, and then there's more left. So it's like you keep pouring it and there's always more in there. It's like the endless ceramic bottle from the Roman days.
Now, you've seen some of the stories we've done with thyme and oak, where you can put the oak sticks in, not only to booze, but also to wine. We haven't tried this, but is this something we would try, or what do you think?
I think we definitely would.
Okay.
Absolutely. I would try it in here, just because the beauty of this would be, I mean, we don't want to offend Charlie Wagner because he is the winemaker and he did create a perfect, beautiful bottle of wine. But the thyme and oak sticks actually let you be the vintner and the winemaker. So you can take a great bottle of wine that's already perfect, but if you're that person that loves a little more oak, you can actually take your oak stick, and I would put it in here because it is unoaked. Be a great experiment to try.
And maybe you don't want the big Mer Soleil with the heavy oak in there, so you can kind of create your own right in the middle there,
Exactly.
which allows you to do that. So,
Yeah.
But that's another show. So Mer Soleil Silver, I think you can try it with fish, chicken, really just about anything. I don't know, would you? I wouldn't go with a steak on this, I don't think. Not for me.
No, you know what? Here's how I would try it with a steak. If you put the thyme and oak stick in there and you oaked it up a bit, then I would try it with steak. Because the wine itself, I think, is full-bodied. It would hold up. And then you're adding some oak. That would balance the flavors of the steak. I would try it. I would try it, at least.
Okay.
Because I'm an experimental kind of girl.
So don't be afraid when you see the bottle, because it's a silver gray-looking bottle. Don't be afraid to pick it up. It's a great choice, and your friends, if you share it with them, will absolutely enjoy it. So.
Yeah, and another great Wagner family favorite of ours. So cheers to you, Wagner family.
Cheers to the
and
Wagners.
Look forward to sharing more wine with you next time.
And we're going to have plenty of travel deals for you. All you have to do is go to jetsetterdeals.com, check them out, and you're going to get deals because you are watching this television show.
Absolutely. And thanks for joining us. Mahalo and aloha. See you
Cheers.
next time.
Doesn't mahalo also mean cheers?
No, it means thank you.
It does now.